once again, ladies and gentlemen, Architect Glass, a sponsor here. I'm sorry, I'll get it right here in a minute. Advanced Air Heating and Air Conditioning, one of the sponsors here this evening, along with Corner Cars and True Value Hardware. All right, heat race number 1, 111 cars. Starting first in car 22, Eddie Baroque. And alongside in 43 is supposed to be Brian Coletta. Kolleda, not relation to Scott Coletta. Pete Alexander and Mike Rodas are in row 2. Mike Sharp and Sean McCombs in the 3rd row. 4th row, Brian Knuckles and Tony Celebrezzi. And on the back row, Mike Ladman and Kip Meeks. And the green is out. Car 22, Eddie Baroque. Your leader now, we've got some action. Pete Alexander trying to fend off Mike Sharp for the 2nd spot. Now Mike Sharp gets underneath Pete Alexander. Brian Knuckles is up to 3rd spot in car 59. Still Eddie Baroque. Mike Sharp in 7. Sharp now sideways in turn 4. Recovers and we got a spin. It's Kip Meeks in car number 13. Kip trying to get that car righted. And he does so. The green remains out. The battles for 2nd between Mike Sharp and Brian Knuckles. This time, Sharp not able to keep it from spinning. That car spins around. And Sharp trying to get that car righted. He does so, and we're yellow. Caution on the Speedway. Brian Knuckles currently ranked 2nd. Back to green, Brian Knuckles, Pete Alexander, Mike Ladman, your top 4. Quickly to the outside in car 53 is Sean McCombs. McCombs looking for that 4th spot but can't take it. Now Knuckles to the outside of Baroque. They'll complete lap 3 this time. Eddie Baroque gets some heavy pressure from Brian Knuckles. Pete Alexander is 3rd. Halfway through this one. Mike Ladman runs 4th, car 88. Now Knuckles looks to the inside, down the backstretch. Eddie Baroque remains the leader. Now those two have pulled away a bit from Pete Alexander. Baroque now way off the bottom, off turn 4. And we got collision on the front stretch. Brian Knuckles takes control. About 3, make that 5 car lengths down the backstretch. White flag. 1 to go. Brian Knuckles, your winner. 2nd to Eddie Baroque. 3rd was Mike Ladman was 3rd, Pete Alexander 4th, and 5th in car 53 was Sean McCombs. second Legend Car heat race, we've got Jeff Burton in 47, 57 Rod Shannon, James Rader in 36, and 19 Scott Blacker. John Hackett will start inside of row 3 in car number 3, alongside of Terry Schurz, then Terry Childers in 1799, Nick Clark in car 60, Mark Wills. Next Saturday night, the Race of Champions, sponsored by Big Bear and Jericho Investments. The 4 Winston Cup drivers. Meantime, we got an 8-lap Legend Car heat race to go. Scott Blacker with quite a move, started fourth. Comes out of turn 2 with the lead, and we got somebody sideways on the backstretch. Be down off the Speedway. Now your leader in car 36, James Rader. '57 runs second, Rod Shannon. In his 31, Terry Schurz. Complete in his 8-lapper this time. It's still James Rader out front. Now a battle for third heats up, and quickly up to third place is car 17, Terry Childers. Terry Schurz back to 4th spot, and currently 5th, Scott Blacker. There's your leader. A white flag this time for car 36. That was pretty darn impressive. Oh, no, that wasn't. Here comes your winner, car 36, James Rader. Second goes to who knows who, 57 car Rod Shannon. Terry Schurz in 31. He was third, 4th, Scott Blacker, and 5th place. Car 47 was 5th. That would have been Jeff Burton. No doubt about the winner, though. James Rader in car 36. In the Legend Car division, these are the cars that will make up the A main. We've got Fred Davis in 86. Virgil Sloan in 25, Bobby Sage and Spencer Fullerton make up the second row number 2. Then we've got Brett Rowe and Jeff Denny. Tim Davis in 20, 80 is Don Black. Ronnie Souders in 75, Larry Young in 32, Bill Southworth in 16, and 98, Rick Triple. Eight laps the distance. front in 86. Now the battle is for second. On a roll is Rowe, car 29. Brett Rowe now challenging Davis. Bobby Sage is third. We're halfway through this event. Brett Rowe now side by side with Brett Davis. Bobby Sage still third. Now we got some bumper tag with Tim Davis and Virgil Sloan back there for fourth and fifth spot. Brett Davis now sideways, trying to fend off Brett Rowe. But Brett Rowe is too much and takes control. He'll get the white flag this time. Bobby Sage tries to close on Brett Davis for second, but nothing's happening. Your winner, Brett Rowe. Davis is second, Sage third, Sloan fourth, and fifth is Tim Davis. And your winner, Brett Rowe, out of West Virginia, an impressive heat race victory over Fred Davis. Boyd in 68. Row 2, Dominic Bando doing double duty tonight, along with Mike Sloan. Ryan Sloan's in 27, Brett Jersey in 89, then comes Wally Kosicki, Charlie Williams, Ryan Rowe, Roland Johnson, Tom Hall, and Tim Williams. They make up the fourth and final Legend Car heat race. That's Dennis Knox, your leader in 51, but here comes Dominic Bando. Could change that. Bando now squeezes by for the lead. Right behind is Greg Boyd. His car 68. From deep in the pack, car 87, Ryan Rowe now up to fourth spot. Ryan Rowe began this event back in ninth place. Roland Johnson started 10th. He is now up to 5th spot in car 48. Your leader is still Dominic Bando. Greg Boyd second. Car number 3, that's, or 8 rather. Sorry, car 37. Kosicki runs 4th now. And Ryan Rowe in this case, continues to move toward the front. Dominic Bando, Greg Boyd, Ryan Rowe, Kosicki, and Johnson, the top 5. White flag, 1 to go. Through turn 3 and 4, your winner, Dominic Bando. Second goes to Greg Boyd, Ryan Rowe, Wally Kosicki, and Roland Johnson complete the top 5. alongside 99, Chad Pennington. Mike Ward's in 61, 86, the veteran, Skip Thornton. Then Jerry Jones in 23, car 6, Jerry Mitchell. 92 is Donnie Renner, and Chris Moore on the tail in car number 2. Gary Carter showing the way in car number 3. Chad Pendleton runs second. Mike Ward is third. Pendleton pressuring the leader, Carter. Carter with 1 heat race victory this season. Jerry Mitchell now looks to the outside of Jerry Jones. 5th spot up for grabs. White flag. Carter still showing the way. Working 3 and 4, his second heat race victory this season. Gary Carter. Chad Pendleton is second. Third goes to Mike Ward, Jerry Jones. 4th and 5th. Jerry Mitchell. On to the feature events. Here we go with the lineup. Vic Tancarelli in car 21. And car 26 alongside that's Bill Cantley. The second row in car number 8, the V6 powered car, Scott Baker. And alongside in car number 12, George Lindsay. Then comes car 59, Burgess White. 94, Eric Withers. And 13, Ray Munson. 8 laps, top 4 move on. Cantley with about a half car length advantage of Tancarelli. And Bill Cantley takes control. laps, or I'm sorry, 5 cars remain. We've got 1 lap down, 7 remain, 7 laps to go. Bill Cantley is the leader. Vic Tannerelli second. Scott Baker third. Eric Withers with a spin off turn 4. Caution on the Speedway. Back racing. 6 laps now to go. Cantley leads Tannerelli, Baker, and Lindsay. Those are your top 4 transfer cars at this point. Baker trying to find a way around Vic Tannerelli. The white flag this time for Bill Cantley. George Lindsay with a spin. Bill Cantley is the winner. Second was Vic Tannerelli. Third, George Lindsay. Sorry, third was Scott Baker. And your 4th place finisher was George Lindsay, the 94 car. Eric Withers was bumped back a spot for rough driving.
Would you take a break again? You're tired up there. I'll let you, I didn't even ask your last name.
Green.
Julie? Jewel Green. You've been coming here how long?
61.
Man, it's a long time. Hey, Jeff, turn our volume down just a little bit if you can. I'll tell you what, you want to help me announce this race?
Oh, sure, why not?
Okay, why don't you give them the lineup as they are out there?
Kevin Lococo on the pole. Carl Katz is on the outside pole. Bo Davis is running third, and your fast qualifier for the night, Scott Barney.
Now, you understand the pressure's on. A couple weeks ago, Tammy down there did this and did really good. So you got to do as good as she did. It's 4 laps. These are the 4 fastest of the street stock division tonight. We're ready to do battle in a race of speed. And we have a guest anonymous announcer. You've never done this before, huh?
No.
You want to tell the people how you beat me up last year because we didn't put somebody's name in the program?
Jim Hersey, one of the greatest guys out here.
Now, don't say that. He's standing up here by us. Hey, we're about ready to start. Turn this over to you.
He also didn't get his name in 2 weeks ago. All right, we're racing, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Kevin Lococo on the inside pole. Here comes. Come on, Kevin. Bo Davis is coming up. He's going to take second. You know, watch it over there, boys. Got Carl Katz still taking second. Bo's sure giving it a good try, though. He's sure coming up there. All right, looks like Bo's got second now. We got one more lap. 2 more laps, I'm sorry. Bo's on the move, ladies and gentlemen. One more lap. Let's see if he can do it. Here they go, side by side. Come on, Bo. You can get up there. I don't know. Looks like Bo kind of backed off on the backstretch over there. All right. The winner is Kevin Lococo. Bo Davis is second. Carl Katz is third. Scott Barney comes in fourth.
How about a round of applause? You know, Jeff, this is getting kind of bad because we could be replaced easily. Yeah, at least fire the wireless announcer. She's better. Yeah. I lost my job. You haven't.
Make sure we get Jim Hersey in the book next week.
He comes down for the checkered flag. How about a round of applause? The locomotion man, Kevin Lococo. How come nobody's drinking beer up here? How come nobody's drinking beer up here?
Because if we get drunk, we'll go over the fence down there.
You were supposed to say because it was the family non-alcoholic section that we're sitting. That's okay. Never mind. That's even better. Hey, once again, she did a great job, and for the appreciation of the job you did, we have a certificate for a free beer. Once again, Jeff, I think we're losing up here, so we'll turn it back over to you, and I'm going to go find a job for Saturday nights.
Street stock first heat race on the Speedway. Sean McNeely in car number 6 starts first. Outside front row, that's Jerry Williams, and comes Robert Jewell, John Matthews, or Mark Matthews rather, Doug King, Phil Gussler, Dan Mestray, and Danny Brown. 8 laps. Halfway down the backstretch on lap number 1. That's Sean McNeely. Jerry Williams runs second. Third is Robert Jewell. Doug King now up to 4th place in car 7. Make that 3rd place now as Sean McNeely has broken out. McNeely has been disqualified, running much faster than his qualifying time. So Sean McNeely is out. Your new leader, Robert Jewell. White flag, 1 to go. And Doug King up to second, but your winner, Robert Jewell. Second to Doug King, third was Phil Gussler Jr. Let's see, 8. The second street stock heat race. Chris Meyer in 61, 34 Gary Lamer. Chris Dodds in 92, and looks like Mike Litchfield outside of that row in the 95 car. Then comes 17 Bobby Stacy. 88 is Bruce Holmes, 22. Donald will make that Bubba Parsons. And Don Townsend Jr. in 77. All right, here is the lineup for the 25-lap legend car feature. Wally Kosicki in 37 starts on the pole, alongside Tim Davis in 20. Row number 2, Brian Rowe from West Virginia, and Virgil Sloan. Greg Boyd is next, and alongside of him, Fred Davis. The 4th row is Dominic Bando in 10, 29, Brett Rowe. Then comes Rick Riffle in 98, Roland Johnson in car 48. Bill Southworth in 16, 27 is Ryan Sloan. Ronnie Souders in 75, Brett Jersey in 89. Then comes Larry Young in the 32 car. Dennis Knox in 51, 80 is Doc Black, Tom Hall in 23. 66, Jeff Denny. 45, Charlie Williams, Bobby Sage in 94. Tim Williams in 8. That's Tim Williams in 8, by the way. That is Fred. Oh, okay, that's correct. And then Spencer Fullerton in 74. The legend car feature event. Of Wally Kosicki. And Ryan Rowe, your new leader. Kosicki runs second. Greg Boyd trying to fifth off Dominic Bando. Rick Riffle is 5th. Up on the Winston scoreboard this time. Bando in the back of Greg Boyd. Now Bando gets passed by Rick Riffle. He'll try to squeeze down in front of Fred Davis for 5th spot. Ryan Rowe, your leader. Kosicki right on his back bumper. Rick Ripple is third, a distant third. Back in the pack trying to squeeze around Tim Davis and Dominic Mando that battle there for 6th spot. Last traffic ahead, 74 of Spencer Fullerton. And Dominic Mando back here on the backstretch trying to get around Tim Davis, cannot make the pass. It's still Rick Ripple third in car 98, 86 Fred Davis runs fourth. Now Dominic Mando up to 5th spot. Halfway this time. Here's your battle for the lead. Ryan Rowe, Wally Kosicki, Rick Ripple, Fred Davis. Now it's a tussle for 5th spot as Brett Rowe tries to move around Dominic Mando. And we got trouble in turn 1. Dennis Knox in car 51. Car hard into the wall. We see some movement inside of that car, so we're assuming he must be okay, and all drivers are okay. No start. No start. White flag 101, and now we're ready to go. Ryan Rowe begins to pick up the pace on the backstretch. Wally Kosicki is second. And we're back to racing. his hit parade. Five laps to go. Brett Rowe continues to move. Now underneath Rick Rickle, Brett Rowe now up to third. Ryan Rowe, your leader. We've got a Rowe sandwich with Wally Kosicki, the meat. There we got trouble on the front stretch. Car 75 going the wrong way. And we got Brett Davis blown up on the backstretch. Brett Davis out of that car. Incident on the front stretch involving the 75 car of Ronnie Sowers. Nearly simultaneously, Brett Davis with a flame out on the backstretch. Third spot, and now his brother Brian, his brother, I believe, is your leader. Wally Kosicki runs second. Brett Rowe third. Rick Ripple fourth and fifth. Dominic Mann. Tim Davis. I believe his engine has left the building. And a theme song for tonight's Legend Car feature is Row, Row, Kosicki, or both. 3 laps to go. Ryan Rowe and Brett Rowe. 3 laps to go. We got some agricultural racing going on down there in turns 1 and 2. And Ryan Rowe still leading. White flag. And your winner from West Virginia, Brian Rowe. Second to Brett Rowe. Third, Wally Kosicki. Fourth is Dominic Mando. And fifth, in car 68, was Greg Boyd. West Virginia, and they take the money back.
and gentlemen, getting the helmet off finally and going to crawl out of the car. I don't know if we're going to call him Brian Rowe or Brian Zanardi or what we're going to call him, but Brian, great job.
Thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank the Lord to give us a good night to race here.
Hey, you know, you were out front, but it wasn't all that easy. They were chasing behind you.
Yeah, they was all over me, and seen that other car painted like mine, and I figured I better get her going.
All right, your first win here?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Go up and get a picture taken. Ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else, the king of the donuts, Brian Rowe.
That's Paul Baker Jr. Up next is the 10 car of John Strobel, Jamie Hunt in 93, 77 Tom Jones, 20 Mike Brown, 25 is Jimmy Kidd, 01 Jerry Buck, fast qualifier tonight, then 5 Bob Grubal, 26 Scott Stevens, 23 John Matthews, number 2 Don Gregory Jr. Then we've got Donald Parsons, Rob Martin, J.R. Groves, Mark Jordan, Ross Wells Jr. in 13, 31, Jim Hersey, and 05, Mike Slum.
We're going to take a look at this one on instant replay from a couple different angles. We're going to slow it down also for you. First, normal speed. Looked like Jeremy Dennis and Paul Baker Jr. are getting together, and they touched, and that just nobody to go. Everybody's boxed up for the start of the race. And now from Bill Yo's camera over in turn 2. Star of the race, Mark Freibach jumping out just a little bit. Jeremy Dennis looks to cut in. No, it wasn't Jeremy Dennis. Got together with Paul Baker Jr. At least you didn't see it on that camera angle. Now we're going to go back and we're going to slow everything down for you. And we're going to analyze this a little bit closer. And now the at the track frame-by-frame replay. And as we slow this down, the Sean Strobel machine, car number 45, seems to slip up. And Jeremy Dennis peeks inside to drop inside of that car, but there's a couple of cars there. We see Randy Sward's 08 machine underneath Jeremy Dennis from this angle. And now Sean Strobel starts to slip up. Jeremy Dennis comes down. There is contact right there, if you look in the right-hand corner of your screen, between the Jeremy Dennis machine and Paul Baker Jr. And Paul Baker Jr. gets sideways. Also, the John Strobel machine looks a little sideways, like maybe Baker Jr. got into him. Both of those cars are now heading in for the wall. We have a car making a drastic left-hand turn trying to get around this. I believe that was Jamie Hunt. We've got cars spinning through the infield. as Bob Neubauer now talks about the accident. We see a couple cars getting together. Jerry Buck involved, our fast qualifier. Mark Jordan is sitting there, and then the Jim Hersey machine with a hard hit into the back of Mark Jordan, lifting it up, and it ends up on top of the Jim Hersey machine. Now let's look at the other angle, frame by frame. And now the same instant from the front stretch camera stand. We see a group of cars there. Randy Swart underneath the Jeremy Dennis machine as Dennis tries to get underneath Sean Strobel. I really can't quite tell for sure if there was real contact there between the 66 and the 50 cars or not, but those two cars appeared to get together. I'm not sure if they did or not. Then Paul Baker Jr. and John Strobel into the wall. Jamie Hunt ends up spinning, trying to miss it, making a drastic left-hand turn, and just spins around. I think somebody might have gotten in the back of him. We see Jerry Buck basically getting shoved into it by the Don Gregory Jr. machine. Looks like the 26 of Scott Stevens also involved there. Here comes Mark Jordan in the back of Jerry Buck, lifting that car up off the ground. And Jerry Buck's machine slams back on the ground, and no sooner does that machine get down, and here comes Jim Hersey into the back of Mark Jordan, and lifting Mark Jordan way up off the ground, and then the Jordan machine ends up on top of the Jim Hersey machine. The important part, all the drivers are okay. A lot of cars damaged, but they can be repaired. Drivers are okay. We'll get this problem straightened away, and we'll be back to racing momentarily.
Mayfield. Molly Dollenbeck, Jeffrey Lodine, and K.O. Yarborough. They'll all be here. Case open at 4:30. Autographs at 5 o'clock. And then they'll be running the Western Cup drivers will be running a match race at intermission, which should be 8:30-ish, something like that. And so then we'll, of course, also be running a full program of all three racing divisions. Mike Swire, Jeremy Dennis, Randy Swart, Tom Jones, Jimmy Kidd, Bob Furball. with pressure. Randy Swart with heavy pressure on Mike Squire. Andy King closing on the lead duo. Three-car battle. Mike Squire leads Randy Swart and Jimmy Kidd. Raybot still runs fourth. Parsons is fifth in turn 22. But he's getting some pressure from Don Gregory Jr. Caution on the Speedway. Fluid leaking from 23. John Matthews' car. Strobel is up to 6th spot. He's trying to close in on the 5th place Parsons. 5 laps, no, 10 laps to go, rather. 10 laps to go. Up to 5th spot is car number 10, John Strobel. Meantime, Mike Squire is now building a little cushion between himself and Randy Sword. White flag for Mike Squire.
And now it's time for the NASCAR Winston Racing Series Street Stocks. And for this feature event, we're in car with the 39 of John Beverly. Of course, Beverly making it into the feature through the last chance race tonight. Adam Conroy did not make it. So the NASCAR Winston Racing Series Street Stocks going to line up this way. Row number 1 inside, the 95 of Mike Litchfield. Outside of him, the 17 of Bobby Stacy. Inside row number 2 is the 88 of Bruce Holmes. Outside of him, the 22 of Bubba Parsons. Row number 3 finds the 77 of Don Townsend Jr. inside, and the 3 of Kevin Lococo outside. In row number 4, car number 46, Carl Katz inside, the 18 of Bo Davis outside. Row number 5, car number 84, Scott Barney, and the 34 of Gary Lamer. Row number 6, Chris Meyer in the 61, and the 99 of Dan Mesgrave. Row number 7, car number 4 is Phil Gessler Jr. and the 7 of Don King. Row number 8, the 90 of Mark Matthews and the 85 of Bob Jewell. In row number 9, car number 52, Jerry Williams Jr. inside, and outside of him the 21 of Dan Brown. And in row number 10, car number 6, Sean McNeely and the 87 of John Sadinsky. In row number 11, car number 39, John Beverly and the 23 of John Morgan. And in row number 12, car number 53, Ron McManus and the 68 of Larry Caudy. Passenger seat with John Beverly, car number 39, as he takes the green flag near the back of the pack. And we are racing 25 laps for the street stock feature.
Bobby Stacy trying to put the moves on Mike Litchfield. Bruce Holmes is third. Battle for second spot.
And we have another tight battle towards the back of the pack, and we got caution on the track.
Red flag.
Once again, we take the restart with the in-car camera of John Beverly, car number 39. We see Doug King in the 7 car. Jerry Williams looking to the outside of Doug King. This near the back of the pack. As the leaders continue the battle, your leader is the 95 of Mike Litchfield, the 17 of Bobby Stacy, right on his back bumper in second. As we continue to watch this battle a little bit farther back in the pack, Gary Lamer, Doug King, Jerry Williams, and John Beverly.
Don Townsend Jr. on the Wayne Jagger back, sticking her on the fence and going for it. He now pulls alongside of Bobby Stacy for third position.
And back in car with John Beverly, car number 39, as he battles with the 7 of Doug King. Oh, and contact down the backstretch. King goes around. John Beverly makes it on through. John Beverly, car number 39, and the 7 of Doug King having some contact.
Synchronized spinning on the front stair. Bill Guster Jr. and Sean McNeely. Red flag. Probably 15 laps, complete somewhere in that general area. At 16 laps in record book, 9 remain. Still Mike Litchfield, Bobby Stacy, Bubba Parsons, top 3.
And now John Beverly works on the 99 of Dan Mascray after getting around the Jerry Williams machine, car number 52. We see Bo Davis up ahead in the 18 machine as these cars continue to battle in these closing laps of this street stock feature.
Bobby Stacy takes over. Up to second now is Bubba Parsons. And the winner, Bobby Stacy. Second, Bubba Parsons. Third, was Bruce Holmes, fourth. Scott Barney in fifth. Mike Blitzfield. So a great night of racing once again. Next Saturday night is the big one. The Jericho Investments Big Bear Racing Champions, Jeremy Mayfield, Wally Dollenbach, Jeff Free, Bodine, and Cale Yarborough right here at Columbus Motor Speedway. They'll be competing in a pair of match races.
You heard of grizzly bears? This is the ugly bear. Coming out of the car finally, Bobby Stacy. You're gonna make a habit out of this a little bit.
I don't know if I am or not. I like to say thanks to the Lord, though, for making this happen. And Mike was really pretty hard to beat. I couldn't get him on the outside. I tried a couple times. And we come out turn 4, and I said, okay, I'm going to take my shot. I didn't even know what lap he was on. I came around here, and I got around him, and he gave me the room. So I'm just kind of glad it happened that way. I'd like to say thanks to all the sponsors. And I'd like to say thanks for everybody who came out here tonight. And I'd like to say thanks for all the people that's like CarQuest and then they sponsored us last week. I appreciate that. I'm thankful. Thank you.
Hey, he's a happy guy. How about a round of applause? There's your feature winner, Bobby Stacy.
And Jeff, we got a little bit of everything back. Cars, on top of cars, a lot of good racing to do. We'll let you wrap it all up.